the U.S. men's national team has been eliminated from Copa America. They didn't make it past the group stage, didn't make it to the knockout round. So let's just talk about it. I've seen a lot of news around the team. This was supposed to be the golden era, I guess, with young players and the young crop of talent we had. But in looking at the team and just the efforts put out there, I saw a lot was said around the referee, the lack of experience that he's had. I think this is only like his seventh game being in charge at this level. I think there was criticism around the potential, um, offsides call that was not made on the goal that was scored last night in the matchup. But ultimately, I think what it comes down to is that we just aren't that good. In general, we aren't that good. I mean, you look at basketball and the dominance we've had on the global stage for how many every years at this point, and how the world is beginning to catch up there, and you're seeing a crop of international talent. I mean, hey, look at the NBA draft. Top two players were both from France. Look at Luka Doncic, one of the biggest stars in the league right now. So the world is caught up there. Baseball, we're seeing global talent coming from all around the world. Guys like Ichiro Suzuki back in the day, Otani, so many guys, Matsui for my Yankees, but so many guys. And when it comes to soccer, we're that nation that's trying to catch up. We're trying to build the next crop of athletes that'll compete. We see guys like Christian Pulisic, who is playing on the international stage, playing in one of the top leagues in the world, but it's few and far in between. I mean, when you look at the talent that we're playing against, there are teams that we should beat, like Panama, but the reality is we're just not that good. It ain't nothing to cry about. I don't even think you should fire the coach. I don't think you should fire Berhalter, because at the end of the day, he the players got to play. The players got to go out there and they got to want it bad enough. When you don't score a goal at all, I don't want to hear anything about the ref and what the ref didn't do. We didn't score. We didn't put the ball in the net. You got to put the ball in the net. You can't win in advance off of these games where we're just hoping for another team not to beat the team that they're going up against in order for us not to get eliminated. So those are my thoughts. Doug, what are your thoughts on it?
Everything that you shared to me is spot on, but we have to take it to the grassroots. We have to think about just the foundation of soccer in America. It's not as prevalent as other countries. If you are well traveled, you know that football everywhere means soccer. Stadiums, coliseums everywhere. Basketball is a thing, but that's just kind of like an American sport in the grand scheme of things. Yes, it's starting to scale into other countries, but it's still not as significant as it is in America. You got football, American football, that's scaling as well. But one universal sport that will reign supreme over any of those other sports that I just mentioned is football, soccer. So we have to think about our development pipeline. A lot of these countries have young men, kids, 13, 14, 12, already playing professional soccer because they are equipped and they've been trained to do so. So, you got the whole 10,000 hour rule. Like these guys, these kids are competing against grown men and they're just developing. Their pipeline is starting to get stronger. And then when it's time to hit that national stage, they're ready to go because they've been training for 7, 8, 10, 12 years in preparation of this moment. So in America, we have to do a better job of developing even more soccer academies. You know, what's that school down in Florida?
IMG.
IMG. Let's go ahead and build up the pipeline down there. Let's establish more institutions where kids from all backgrounds that can get involved in soccer.
Yeah.
Soccer is a universal sport. And then when you look at kind of like our ranking this year, we ranked 11th in the country. I mean, that's great, but when we think about the United States, we want to be the best in everything, right? So 11th to me is subpar. And then if you look at us historically, man, I'm just again looking at the menu of our statistics here. World Cup, best result, third place. That was 1930. Summer Olympics, best result, silver, 1904. Copa America, best result, fourth place, 1995, 2016. We're mediocre, and
Yeah,
that's just
we just really don't have the infrastructure. I mean, you mentioned IMG putting it together, and they have a soccer team and elite players are playing there. But typically, if you're an elite player, I remember there was a young kid that I knew his dad. He was going to play for a club in Europe. You know, these organizations, Real Madrid, Barcelona, Man City, they have academies, so they're building. You go, if you're good enough, you might play for their, 16 under team. And then you're within their organization until you turn pro. You turn pro, you could go on loan to another club, really blow up there. You're still signed to your club, come back, and you're on. We just don't have the infrastructure because we don't have elite level soccer with the MLS. You can't really build academies around the programs we do have within the MLS, and so therefore most of our talent goes and plays overseas. The opposite of like NBA. Like if you don't make it in the NBA, you go play overseas. Most of our talent here go. What were you saying, bro?
and bro, that can be something they can consider. Y'all should be you executives for these professional leagues here in America. You should be listening to this because if they have developmental programs in other countries for kids at a young age in soccer, why can't y'all develop developmental programs where you have your feeding pool of talent, but also to get on some like an educational component to it to make sure that they got their books and stuff in order, and if they wanted to go to college, they were ready for college, but also to train them like professionals, do the right thing. So I don't know, man. I just think we don't, to your point, we don't have the infrastructure. I don't think that we will ever get there, and we need to take the MLS a little bit more seriously. Why aren't we going out to other countries recruiting their talent? We do it for basketball. We need to continue to recruit talent from other countries and pay them the big dollars to get that draw in. So maybe other international players want to come in and then help us develop our pipeline even more so we can compete.
Yeah, and I think the MLS has done a pretty good job of importing talent. Maybe not the elite level in their prime because it's they really can't pay the dollars that some of those players would get going to play for even a Borussia Dortmund or clubs like that who they rather play in that competitive of a league versus playing in the MLS. I think the other big problem is that most young people here don't play just one sport. So a lot of places you'll go around the globe, young people they pick a sport, and that's their sport. Maybe they transition to another sport later and they make that one transition, but they're not playing multiple sports throughout, their adolescence, like four different sports. So I think we have to build the academies, we have to build the infrastructure, and then that's the only way we grow the game. But right now, we're just not good. It's nobody to blame. We're just not a good, soccer team. That is what it is.
I agree.